I thought it was a prank at first, but the moment I saw the text on my phone, I realized it was real. I'm leaving you. Jason and I are going away. Don't try to contact me. It had to be a joke. I thought maybe she'd gotten hacked, or maybe it was some weird glitch in the system. But then I heard them. Her voice, soft and distant, through the bedroom door. And Jason, my best friend, my brother from another mother, laughing. I had been so blind. Let me rewind. It started months ago, when I noticed small things. Little shifts. At first, it was the weird silence between her and me during dinner. She'd stare at her phone, barely speaking. Then there were the late nights she'd stay working late. But I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? I loved her, and Jason, well, he was my rock. I could never have imagined it. I guess you'd call it an instinct, that nagging feeling you can't shake. It crept up in me one evening when I came home early from work, only to find the door slightly ajar. I assumed she'd forgotten to lock it. But when I stepped inside, I felt it. The air was different. Cold. I called out, "Honey. You here?" No answer. I thought she was probably upstairs, so I went up, still feeling uneasy, but then I heard the laughter. It was too casual, too intimate, to be normal. When I pushed the bedroom door open, I didn't know what I expected, but it certainly wasn't this. Jason, lying on the bed, his shirt half off, and her, she was leaning over him, holding him close. Their eyes locked as soon as I entered, and I froze. It was the silence that followed, the stunned, guilty look they shared. For a moment, I couldn't even process what was happening. It wasn't real. But then Jason stood up, his hands raised as if to calm me, but his grin, his smug grin, made my stomach turn. And her? She just stood there, her face flushed, avoiding my gaze. I can explain, she stammered, but I didn't want to hear it. I turned and left. I didn't even have the strength to yell at them, to confront them. I didn't know what to do. I spent the next few hours pacing outside, not sure if I could even go back inside, not sure if I wanted to. But then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Jason. "I know you're hurt. We didn't mean for it to happen like this. But you need to let her go." That's when it hit me. Jason had known. He'd known the entire time. They'd been planning this. The laughter. It wasn't surprise. It was satisfaction. They didn't feel guilty. They were relieved. I don't know why I still went back inside that night. Maybe it was denial, or maybe I was just so desperate to hear her say it wasn't true. But when I opened the door again, the house was eerily quiet. I found her sitting in the living room, her suitcase beside her, her eyes red but cold. She didn't even try to explain. She just said, "I'm leaving. Jason makes me feel seen. He understands me." And that was it. I should have left, should have walked out and never looked back. But something kept me there, something pulling me into the strange, empty silence between us. I stared at her, at him, at the life I thought we'd built, and I realized it was all a lie. I wasn't the husband she wanted. I wasn't the best friend Jason had cared about. As they walked out, side by side, I felt the weight of their absence in the room. But it wasn't the silence that haunted me. It was the eerie certainty that I was never supposed to have known. That everything they'd done, every moment, had been carefully staged, right under my nose. What haunts me now isn't the betrayal. It's the way they never even looked back.